Okay, so let's continue. Now we can move on to subdivision level 2 or 3. But before that, you guys notice he still doesn't have an eyes. So let's put the eyes on him, and we'll spend a little bit of time to talk about the eyes placement and the eyes size. First, I just imported basically a really basic eyes. Right now it's symmetrical, and basically you guys can take some references, just search some references, and for example, I basically just typing human eyes size in Google, right? So here, as you can see, you can kind of see the eye size, especially like the iris size. Like they're not too different, especially something like this, right? I mean, some of it's bigger, some of it's smaller, but normally you can kind of tell that where is the iris sitting inside the eyeball. So we're just basically gonna mimic like the size and the feelings of it. And the other good one is to have this kind of image. Here. This is basically telling you tell you two things. Like one of the size compare like the eye size compared to the whole skull human face. This is definitely a top-down view, and the other one is the eyes is definitely not straightforward, flat. It will tilt it. It's kind of rotate a little bit, have like an angle to it. So that's what we're gonna do. All right. So I have those references on the side, and for this kind of reference, I'm looking at how the eyeball size compared to the eyes, and how he basically the eyeball is basically wrapped around. The eyelid wrapped around with the eyeball. So let's do that. First let's do this. Mask one side. I want to rotate a little bit. The other side, let's do the same. Don't need to do too much. And then let's just move it in and see how it fits. When I do this, I like to do one eye at a time. So if I do this, first of all, we definitely need to adjust the size a little bit. But even though I think the eyeball size compared to my head right now is a little bit too big. So I'm just gonna scale it down a bit. I basically are judging that. I'm judging that by like the size of the iris. I want to kind of relax sitting on the top of it. Probably a little bit smaller. That should be okay. And I'll just mask this part and move this. Let's see. Okay. But I think this one is looking too It's looking on the side, like left. So I think it's a little bit too much on this one. So I'm just gonna rotate it back a little bit. Still it's not straight, but just rotate it back a little bit. Okay. And I want it to be sitting inside a little bit more. Something like that. Okay, that should be good. So right now we have our eyes. Let's rotate it around. Let's see if there's something weird. Okay. Now I'm going to adjust the eyes to fit the eyeball basically. So let me go to the highest subdivision level. Right now we have 3 layers, one's base mesh, one's base shape sculpt, the other one is symmetrical. So you can see, put in some symmetrical feeling in there. Right now I'm going to do another one called eye shape adjust and go to level 1, and then I can basically move it from here. What I'm doing right now is I wanted the eyes to feel a certain thickness to it. And feel like it's wrapping around it. And have that kind of a round feeling to it. And I will fill this in a bit more. Basically let it feel that it has really thick eyelid sitting on the top. Here, what I'm looking at is I try to make it, kind of evenly, like the thickness. Try to make it even. Okay. Yeah. So you can see compare with the references, yes, kind of same kind of feeling. Of course, this it has more to it. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to adjust and this at the same time. So this is a little bit not enough, so kind of pay attention that I try my best to make it this pretty clean, you know, like the edge of the bottom and top eyelid. I feel there's some wobbleness over here. Let's try to fix it. Okay. I think that's good enough for just at level 1 on the eyes part. I want to give a little bit definition. Basically how this is going this way, so just a little bit should be fine. Okay, that should do it. And I want to adjust. So right now this is just the eyes, right? Alright, so that's good enough. Let's just go through subdivision level 5, the highest one. We'll give it more shape later. But so far, let's create another one. Let's go into secondary shape. Alright, so for secondary shape, we don't need to worry too much about the detail. I was still focusing on the shape, but we're adding a lot. So basically, my definition of secondary shape is just adding the secondary anatomy forms that you can read. You can basically observe in, let's say, references, anatomy forms and all that, and you just put it in. So we can go to level 2 or 3. Let's do 3. 3 is pretty high enough. And I was still doing the same thing, which is looking at the same reference that we have been going through, and then change from there. So let's do, for this it will be more detail. I'll explain more. So let's do the face feeling first, and then I will go into each part, like ear, eyes, nose, mouth, neck, and just basically put the shapes in there. But right now I want the whole feeling of the, which is most important one, the face, to get more forms, secondary shapes on it. Alright, so let's start with level 2. Like it was level 1, level 2, level 3. And let's go through some references. Okay. in here, I'm basically looking at the facial, especially like the cheek, the eyebrows, the forehead, the chin, and um, here, like the top of mouth area. So let's just do one at a time. So for this one, because we already broke up this symmetrical feeling, so I basically from here I sculpt basically separately. I hardly use symmetrical to sculpt because I want each side to have different feelings that can definitely bring out more alive feeling for the final character. So let's get to it. I like to use clay brush when I'm trying to define the shapes. So you can see we have shapes over here, we have a line over here, and all that. So I'll do this one first. You can see like the shape over here. I'm making like the shape over here. And since we already have this line over here that indicated the line coming down, so it's actually this line from here all the way to here. And this line, so this one to here, but this one, we have a little shape here to indicate like the thickness of it. It's happened like right over here. But when you do sculpt, you should be careful. Should be pretty subtle about it, because you don't want it to stand out too much. You can go in, relax a little bit. You can see this one goes down to like here, so basically here to here. So I just want to have more feelings here. So you get that nice form. So I just think it's more rounded. So I'm adding a little bit of roundness on there. So this one is a tricky line because from front I can't really tell where is the line. So it's better to basically find this kind of reference to basically tell you where the line is. But I'm trying to find the right side. Okay, there's it. Okay. So basically we have one over here. And we have this one like over here. Okay, and it's going down like that. So just kind of mark it first. I can see that, right? I will say the position is close, so this one. This is pretty deep, especially when he's making some expression. So I want to do it a little bit deeper than what I had so far. Okay. This is good for the other side, but I'm trying to focusing on this side. You can also tell like how deep is it? Okay. There. Okay. So pay attention, like the line is actually still going, you know, here. So there's a triangle here. I don't know if you guys can see it. A lot of people have it. So I'm trying to get the feelings just like that. So basically the line still goes. But here you kind of break it up to like over here. Let's see. And then there's a triangle over here. So I basically break it up to the shape that I can read. Like you can see the shape, but it's not like a line. So one feeling like the same way. So if I move my light over here, I should be able to kind of see the same effect. You can see like there's a triangle here. So maybe like this is not deep enough. So I want to be a little bit deep over here. Now you get kind of similar feelings. This is definitely a little bit too much. I can see like the shape is pretty flat. Otherwise it will have like the same kind of effect. So I'm gonna dial this down. Yep. Similar to that. And I'm gonna add some so it's going down there. Going down. to see more shape around here. And sometimes I use, you can still see some break up there, trying to kind of mimic the feelings. Okay. So you can kind of see the feeling, but it's actually not there. It just kind of give you the feeling. Okay, let's move the light back. Alright. So this is not actually, I'm not sculpting wrinkles. I'm doing the shape. Okay, so the difference is if I really want to sculpt the wrinkles, I will basically go in and I will make some of it stronger, just for example, okay? And I will smooth out some of it, and when it goes deeper, I do that again. So you can see it's not like a perfect line from here to here. You know, like I go in and I kind of separated, I think from my knowledge, where it should go in a little bit deeper and where it's not, and give it the variations of it, of the wrinkles. So right now I'm not really focused on that, so I'm just gonna smooth that out a little bit. Okay, but I do want the feelings of this going there. Okay. I want this to be a little bit deeper. So from what I'm seeing over here, I think, I know, I need some more references. Let's see. Okay. I would say this is fine now. Let's find some references. I kind of want to get this kind of feeling in there. So you guys can see this. This is because he's basically flickering his muscles on the jaw area. So I want to make that. So basically, if you don't understand, just basically do a Google of it. You can see this is the muscle that I'm talking about, like right here. So it's basically connected from the cheekbone, and when you push some strength on it, it will flickering like. Okay, so let's do that. And for this, since it's basically the shape on the both side, I would just do. I will want to go to level 1. And from here, basically from here to here. And a little bit like heavy jaw muscle, like that. If it's too much, let's just smooth it out. Until here. Okay. At least like the information is there. I'm still not too happy about the placement of the eyes. I think it's a little bit too high in my opinion, but those can be changed after, so I'm not too worried about that so far. And just keep going on the references and see what kind of feeling can we get. So we're at level 3 right now. I want to fix that neck a little bit. And basically let's do here. This is the shape that I'm seeing right now. So this is pretty big difference. This, you see how this angle is showing? It's a lot higher than what I have so far. So I'm gonna put and this goes both sides, that's fine. So I guess you just need to basically judge when are you going to use symmetrical, but for this kind of like for both sides, like the eyebrow bones, both sides, you can use a symmetrical, it's fine. But for those kind of secondary detail on it's different on each side of the face, you will need to break it. So let's see. I see this is way deeper right here. So what I'm going to do is do that. want to move on. Before that, I want to tweak this a little bit more. Actually, here, I think I break up this a little bit too much. This is actually pretty connected. Smooth it out. Give like a connection between here and there. The triangle is still here, but here is more like one shape over here. I think here's a little bit flat. Okay. Try to find another reference. Here. Okay. I'm talking about this section. I think give you a pretty good idea about here. It's going down a little bit more. I think I'm getting close on the shape. I see this continuous shape over here, so I want to do a little bit of sculpting over. Just give it a little bit feeling of it. Okay, I'm fine with that. I think let's keep going. Again, let's see this. Move the light over here. Sometimes I like to make my sculpt a little bit darker. That way you can kind of see the speck, because the speck will tell you the shape. Remember that. So where's the highlight at? Then you can kind of see the shapes of it. So the highlights over here, going up. My highlight, it's similar, but basically has a break over here. So what I'm going to do is do this. I can see kind of the breaks over here. And here he doesn't really have a lot of shape, especially this side. He does have this, but not that obviously. So before we're saying that heavy-handed is fine, right now it's the time to basically go in and refine it. See here, here, and just smooth out a bunch. You can still see the shapes from here to there. This is what I like to do. You see this line over here? It's actually kind of flat. So I go in, use the brush to give it kind of flat feeling and smooth around it. So here, I think it's definitely too in, because I see this is kind of continuous shape over here, and this is here and break up over here. I'm going in more, so I want to fill this up. Okay, so when you fill this up, you feel like more like a continuous shape. But pay attention to how I kind of I do this on purpose. I break this up. You see like a small triangle over here that you can see over here. Alright, I think that's fine. Now, the thickness of the eyes. I think we need more. Yeah, that looks better to me. But at the same time, I want this to be clean. I would leave this just so we can talk about later on detailing of eyes. Right now, focus on the face. Alright. So I smooth this out. I think it's a little bit too much. Let's just continue going. Interesting. Okay. Do you see how nose? This is break up from here. Maybe like a brown just here. I want that feeling as well. Go in. Going a bit more. can still see, like the shapes over here. That's what we did it last time. So the shapes over here go all the way here. So yeah, smooth it out. A little bit too sharp over here. Here I think there's a shape over here, but I'm not really sure because I can hardly see it. So I'll put it on this first. I see like the shape over there. And then if it's wrong, we can change later. And do you see like the small shape over here? I don't want this to be too much, but when I see something, I want to put it in. Okay. So let's see. We can start to do the other side. Okay. This one is very interesting. Okay, you got a lot of shapes over here that you can read, you can sculpt. Start with the nose. The nose is really interesting. You can see the light's coming from there, right? You can see like the shape of the nose especially. So let's just do it. I use clay brush, sculpt this in. You see there's a here, there's a shape over here, right? And go to here. But at the same time, you have like a breakup right here. Like here, right? So I marked it. I flatten it a little bit. I smooth it out. So it is there. You can see from some angle, but not all of it. So here you can see clearly there's a shape over here. Like that. Yep. Similar to that. It's more rounded. It's not that sharp. So just basically round it and push it out a little bit. Alright. Actually, you can still see more shapes over here. You can see this is not reduce this a little bit more. Smooth it. So you can see like there's a plane like from here to here, right? Right here. So what I'm going to do is going to give it a little bit of shapes right there. Smooth it out, but you can see it, right? So this is basically how I put my shapes in. It's very important. Okay. Now, this is more interesting. From here, you can basically see how this is reading. Can you see like a sharp line over here, which I don't have? So let's try to put it over there. It'll be not cheekbone, this part, the thickness of it. It'll be like around somewhere like over here. So something like that. Okay. And for this, you see a big shape over here, like right over here. So just basically have it here. I'll see if I can find some references inside, like over here. But so far, if we can, like we don't know the reference, let's just leave it alone first. Let's study the shape. Let's refine the shape that we can find. Something here. So definitely we need to pull this in a little bit. Okay. Now it's this here, this turn. So you can see this shape. It doesn't look like that, right? So basically we have a highlight from here all the way to here, and that's fine. But for here, smooth it out a lot more. Right now we're doing subtle shapes, okay? So the shapes, you can still do heavy-handed, but just remember to smooth it afterwards. So what I'm doing first is I see this continuous shape over here and I want to continue with it. Okay, now we have this. what I'm going to do is I'm going to fill this out, because you can see right there. Fill this out, and you have a similar feeling. And go in. I'll make a line like that. And here. Go straight here. So it's time to do the other side, right? So let's find the other side reference. This is a good one, but again, we need to know the position of this one. So there's one. There's one. This one's good. It tells you basically the line is not that curvy. So that's fine with me. And I want to mark this. It's basically from a thickness from here. And that triangle there, remember we did it on the other side. So let's mark it this way. Yep. Alright. Just letting you guys know, I'm eyeballing this, right? So this is definitely not 100% correct. But I'm trying my best to eyeball it and try to get basically the best feelings. You can see this here. So that means the highest is right here. There. Look like this is not that deep after all. I feel like I kind of have a feeling that I want to, when I move the shape, I kind of want to do this. Yeah, let's do that. Alright, let's get back to the shapes. See this? All the way down to here. You can even see this form, right? Alright. It's more interesting here. Let me show you how do I do this shape. So you can see in the shapes going here, this is more thin. Here's more full flash. So thin, adding more shapes here. Just like that. Since this is going in, it has a certain thickness to it. You can see over here. So I'm trying to get that in as well. Thickness. There's the thickness. You don't want to do too much. Okay. And for here, I think yes, a little bit more flash over here, just a bit more. When I see over here, I saw this deep shape over here. So what I'm trying to do is trying to get a shape from here all the way to there. And then smooth out. Okay, here's a pretty good, I mean, too bad you can't really see it, but did you guys see here? You have like a flat feeling over here. That's exactly what I was trying to do on the other side. So I'm gonna do it right here. So that kind of flat feeling. Yeah, will give you a pretty good breakup right here. So I'm fine with it, and I don't think this has that much, so I can just smooth this out deeper over here, smooth out over here, but still preserve the shapes. From here, I'll say it doesn't have that much. I'll just smooth down basically. Okay, I think just from reading at this, I want this to get inside a little bit more. should be good. Let's see. Okay. The feeling is getting there. And now this is basically we only did some of the eyes, the bottom eyelid, and the eye backside, and the cheekbones, and the jaw. So the feeling is getting closer and closer. Let's see if there's more that we can do in this one. Okay. Here's a good one for this. I mean, it's close, so I'll just leave it alone first. It's close. Okay. Okay. What I'm going to do is basically I'll give you a line. Over here. I'm not doing wrinkles, I'm just basically mark it. Smooth out of it. Same as over here. Just a little bit. Okay. Do you see this side that we're doing? I want to match it a little bit closer. So you basically have this feelings over here. So I will Kelly feelings right here. Didn't quite get it. There. So you guys can see how much shape that we put in already. Even though like just the shape that you can see over here that indicate kind of this kind of feeling. I want to put it in. Now you can kind of see right here. There. Okay. It's getting closer. Alright. Let's continue. Okay, here. You can see the shape that we're talking about. It's more, even more than I think. Right here. So I'm gonna do this. The other side. I just basically kind of imagine you'll have like the same effect. Okay. Let's continue. Well, I love the shape over here. You can see. Break it up a little bit. Make it more interesting. Like a feeling over here. Feeling over here. Okay. Realize I haven't saved for a while, so let me save it first. Okay. So let's continue. Before we do that, I want to refine this a little bit more. Okay. That's good. Okay, you see this shape? Right? It's the feeling that we're going for. Okay. So this here a little bit. going. Alright, so let's start with the year. A lot of people didn't really take the year seriously. So, okay, so the year, it's very important. It doesn't really require a lot of detail out of it. It's basically just the shapes. So let's just finish like the phase secondary, and then we will start with the year. Okay, so since I want his feeling to have kind of tilted down and looking up kind of feeling. So for this, I want it to be a little bit heavy-handed. I want to match this a little bit more. That's fine. I'm talking about this kind of feeling. So when you're doing this kind of wrinkle, one thing that I always keep in mind, you don't do, even though it looks like that, you don't do this kind of wrinkle, like repetitive, exactly the same. Decide where's your main wrinkle. There's a lot of way that you can break that up. You can break it up by changing the strength. You can break it up by change the direction. Just don't make it like repetitive. Okay, let's continue. The neck wrinkle change all the time. So it's harder to do, but right now I'm not really focusing on that. Basically give it like the feeling that I want. Okay, here, let's see. Oh, that's close. Okay, here. You want to move this in. To give it that kind of feeling. Yes. Same as here. You got a pretty good idea here to see how deep this is, right? So let's just get this in. Smooth it out. Give it a shape over there. Similar on the other side. Okay. Okay, I will try to find one with some detail that we can see, or the shape that we can see. Okay, so this is kind of wrinkle that I want, right? He's doing like brow frown. So I don't know if I want that much, but the information, it's good to have. So I got that, and one more like over here. Okay. Okay, interesting. So you can see here it's more flat than I think it would be. So I'm just going to flat this out more. Same as over here. This is just some like basic anatomy stuff. Alright. Keep going. Yeah. So here's basically focusing on, I don't see a lot on the forehead. This I do. But it's not particularly useful for me. So I'm just going through my folders and see if I can find a good reference on the forehead. this is pretty good. Oh, this one. Even though he's making expression, but you can clearly see. I need to do the same thing over here though. You can clearly see like the line over here. Since it's basically across the head, so you can basically do it like that. But like remember you're not doing base shape anymore, so just don't be too heavy-handed. Go in, smooth it out. You can see the shape over here that we sculpt. You can see like the shape over here. Smooth this out. Too much. Let's just smooth it out until they, okay, you can see kind of the shapes there. And that's the feeling that we want. Okay, so that's good. Got some interesting stuff around here. You know, it's pretty different than what we had, but I decided to kind of just sculpt it in. Okay, and that's fine. Here, this is pretty interesting. You can definitely see this shape going in. And it's pretty different because I have an expression here. So assuming when this is coming in, it will have some shapes around here, but maybe not that much. But for sculpting purpose, you know, a little bit exaggerated. It's not the end of the world. So you can see the shapes pretty clearly here. It's pretty deep. So let's try to get it. Over here, you want to do the same thing. Maybe it's a little bit too strong. Don't know so far, but I want to put the information in. see if we can find some good reference for the nose shape. Okay, here. That's pretty good. So here you can see the shapes over here. Up, push this in, push this in a little bit. You can see this is actually bigger over here. He has this kind of effect, like kind of rounded, instead of like sharpened. So rounded over here. I'll just move all this down. Kind of. Here. I want this to be more. Okay, the forehead right here. Yep. Okay. It's getting there. Okay. Here. Let's see this line over here. I want this to be more visible, basically. So since this is two lines, I'll use symmetry to do that. Let's right from here. Okay. Like this is the feeling that I want for the mouse, so I will focusing on that when we go there.